Not facing the fact that I've allowed life to make me feel like a loser. And a lot of us allow life to do that, and we accept it. People ask me, so why do you still do this every day? I'm 43 years old. I did 21 years in the military. Now I'm a firefighter. I'm a wildland firefighter. I don't need it. I'm good. Why do you still do this? You right now are a leader. You sit in this chair right now to thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. That's why you do it. Why you get up at 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning is because you are setting the example for others to follow. It's not about you anymore. You have to change your mindset to God gave you everything you want. It's pay time.
We're all in a battle with our own brains. That's
all
life. That's all life is.
It's the most powerful thing in the world, is your own brain. It can work for you or against you.
And as opposed to focusing on all those bad things that happened, all the things you didn't have, the people that called you names, all the stuff you were doing again, and you start thinking, wait a second, I just visualized this, and now I can take it to the next level. Because the visualization got you through sealed.
It did. And I was able to visualize the end.
That most men live lives of quiet desperation. It's one of my favorite quotes ever because it's true. You're just in this world where you just can't wait to just run away.
What's funny about failure is we're afraid to fail a lot of times because we're afraid to get those people telling us that we're not good, that we shouldn't try again. This is how I look at it. First of all, those people are going to be there. And 99.9% of those people who are in your ear after you fail haven't even tried what you're attempting to do.
Failure, the feeling of shame, of being like a weak, non-motivated, lazy person. That's a weak feeling. It's you don't respect yourself. You know, and I have this phrase that I use all the time to people to try to motivate people. I say that be the hero in your own movie. Pretend that if your life was a movie and your life started now, what would the hero do? What would the person that you respect do? What would the person that you admire, person that inspires you, what would they do? Well, do that. And if you do that, you slowly build momentum. You like, today I did what I wanted to do. Today I started a class in yoga. I did this. I did all these things that I was saying I wasn't going to do. And now I feel momentum. And momentum is a very important point in people's lives.
Failure is the only way to grow. The only way to grow for me. Everything I've ever succeeded in, 3 hell weeks. You know, everything, Ranger School, everything I've ever failed, I failed miserably so many times. But what you do with that failure is you go back, you learn from it. And not just learn from it, I call it the live autopsy. Where you get all this stuff, you get a scratch piece of paper and you start writing down, don't even acknowledge the fact that you failed. You're looking at it almost like the daggone light bulb. Like, okay, this went wrong, that went wrong, that went wrong. And then you go back into it. All failure is a tool for success. It shows you how to get there if you're willing to stay in the fight. That's the hard part, though. After failure, all these voices start to say, no, we're not good enough, we're not good enough, we're not good enough. No, we haven't tried enough. And that is so true.
All of us have experienced some tragedy, and if we haven't, we will. And you can either let it destroy your life or you can build upon it. You can permit it to let it hold you down, or you can decide, I'm not going to let that happen to me. I'm bigger than this.
Every minute that you think you can't do it, I need you to offset it with dreaming about the fact that you can. Whatever your dream is, whatever your goal is, you're not going to be able to make it happen if you don't have a dream party every day. You've got to take out 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, however much time you have, and you've got to actually go in a room, close the door, and you've got to see yourself doing it. You've got to feel yourself doing it. You've got to actually walk in it. You've got to go in the future, live it out, come back in the present, and start working toward it.
We all look for toughness. We all want it, but we look for it in a comfortable environment. You will not find toughness in a comfortable environment. When that alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, your mind says no. You just say, this is what we do. It's what we do now. Because to get to where you want to go, the amount of pain involved, I'm not saying physical, I'm not saying you got to break yourself off, the amount of mental pain of how many times you're going to have to do something that you don't want to do to get to where you want to go.
There has to be this point in your life where what you want is so much greater than where you are. You're in such discomfort. In other words, the gap between what you're dreaming of, what you're destined to do, what you're capable of, you're aware of it compared to where you are. That tension between the two has a pull power to it, right? I really believe that.
Realize you have to know, you have to accept that all your excuses are lies. They are lies, all of them.
It doesn't matter where your background is. It's what you decide to do.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you another thing. It's not even from the military. Like, the military requires discipline, obviously. But there's plenty of people in the military that don't have it, right? And many people lose their discipline when they leave the military because it's not being imposed on them anymore. So, I mean, just go look around. I mean, being in the military does not make you a disciplined person. Being from a disciplined family does not make you a disciplined person. Being in a disciplined group does not make you a disciplined person. What makes you a disciplined person is choosing to be disciplined.
Best thing you could ever do is force yourself to a schedule. Just write it down. Showing up when you don't want to show up, forcing yourself to do things you don't want to, but then reaping the rewards. Discipline equals freedom. And it's true, because he's able to force himself to do that every single time. There's no excuses. There's no breaks. There's no days off. It doesn't happen. So because of that, you're not scared. You know that you can keep doing it. You know that you can continue to perform. There's a lot of people that are scared of their ability to do something that's difficult. They're scared of whether or not you see someone who's doing something that's really tough to do, and you go, man, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could force myself to be disciplined. I don't know if I could force myself to take that kind of action. Well, if you do force yourself to take that kind of action, you don't have that question anymore. That question, I don't know if I can do it. Well, you're doing it.
Do the things that are making you weaker. Start doing the things that are going to make you stronger and smarter and faster and healthier and going to make you a better human being. And I'll say the same thing to this guy. You want to be more disciplined? Get after it. That's it, man. Get up early, do some kind of workout, eat good foods, clean your room, make a list of things that you're supposed to do in your life, and then wake up in the morning and do those things that you put on the list. That's what discipline is.
Measure yourself. And here's the biggest problem. How do you know if you're growing or not if you're not measuring yourself? So I need you every day. Don't be scared. And I'm not gonna lie. Some days I get on the scale and I know I ran and I worked out, but I had the blueberry muffin, and I already know what the bread does to me. But I gotta get on there anyway. So every single day, I want you to measure yourself, and I want you to be honest.
It's time to be about that business. It's time to understand that if you want to get something out of your life, you got to be willing to work for it. You got to be hungry enough to eat what is coming your way. You cannot be concerned about what can't be done. You need to be focused on what must be done. If you feel that you are not in a position to do it, then why show up in the first place? And that it takes grit, passion, and determination to get to the level of where you want to be. But you got to understand the difference between levels and going beyond them. You can't stay in one place and expect to get to the next place. You can't look at the sky, because beyond the sky, there's a great big universe. Now, what are you going to do about it? Are you prepared to push? Are you prepared to work? Are you prepared to dig? You got to fight. You got to push. You got to give everything you have. Because I tell you this, weakness won't save you. All you need is the power, the strength, and the tenacity to give it everything you got.